You won't believe how America's fast food journey really began. Long before drive-thrus and dollar menus, a root beer stand, 5-cent sliders, and post-war optimism set the stage for the golden age of eating on the go. These stories shaped childhood memories and built the giants we know today. Before we begin, hit like and subscribe. Today we revisit the top 10 oldest fast food chains in America. The year was 1954 and Burger Chef burst onto the scene as a scrappy rival to McDonald's. With over 1,200 locations at its peak, it wasn't just another burger joint, it was a pioneer. Customers loved the Works Bar, where you could top your own burger with lettuce, onions, and pickles long before customization was a buzzword. They were also the first to bundle burgers, fries, and a drink into what we now know as the combo meal. The sizzle of flame-broiled patties, the clang of trays, and the freedom of building your own meal made Burger Chef a family favorite. Kids tugged at their parents' sleeves for fun meals precursors to Happy Meals that came with toys and a sense of excitement. For a time, it felt like Burger Chef might overtake McDonald's itself. But rapid expansion, uneven management, and fierce competition chipped away at its empire. By the early 1980s, most locations had been sold off or rebranded, leaving only memories of a once bright flame in American fast food history. And don't forget to subscribe for more nostalgia and retro memories. Your support keeps these stories alive. Columbus, Ohio, 1969, Dave Thomas opened a modest burger shop and named it after his daughter Wendy. The logo's pigtails and freckles gave the place a family feel, but it was the food that set it apart. Wendy's served fresh, never frozen beef, and the square patties hanging over the bun edges sent a bold message: no corners cut. Walking into Wendy's felt different. The menu offered baked potatoes with steaming butter, a salad bar filled with bright greens, and the Frosty, a dessert sitting somewhere between a milkshake and soft serve. In the 1970s, they also pioneered the modern drive-thru with a two-window system, making fast food even faster. By the 1980s, clever commercials like "Where's the beef made?" Wendy's a household name. The combination of quality and personality gave the brand staying power in an industry crowded with giants. For many, the memory of dipping hot fries into a Frosty on a summer night still brings a smile. Thinking back on Burger King's smoky Whopper, Pizza Hut's bubbling pies, and Wendy's square burgers with a side of Frosty, if you had to choose just one, which would you bring back for dinner tonight? Wichita, Kansas, 1958. A small brick building with just 25 seats and a hand-painted sign that could only fit 9 letters. Frank and Dan Carney chose the simple name Pizza Hut, not knowing they were about to create America's very first pizza chain. Inside, the scent of bubbling cheese, tangy tomato sauce, and freshly baked crust filled the air. Families gathered around checkered tables, passing slices dripping with mozzarella, while college kids from nearby Wichita State made it their late-night spot. It was more than food, it was community, a slice of Italy planted firmly in the Midwest. Pizza was still a novelty then, mostly known in immigrant neighborhoods, but Pizza Hut brought it mainstream. The red roof soon appeared across the country, a beacon for anyone craving a hot pie. From deep dish experiments to stuffed crust in the 1990s, the brand always found ways to reinvent itself while staying true to that first oven in Kansas. For many, the memory of a thick pan pizza shared under dim lights with laughter echoing in the background is forever tied to growing up in small-town America. Miami in the mid-1950s was hot, restless, and hungry for something bold. Out of that energy came Insta Burger King, later simply Burger King. What set them apart wasn't speed alone, it was the Whopper. Introduced in 1957, the burger was massive, flame-grilled, and customizable, a smoky alternative in a world of uniform patties. Customers loved hearing their burger hiss on the broiler, the charred edges carrying a flavor that no flat-top grill could match. At 37 cents, pricier than rivals, the Whopper wasn't just food, it was a statement. Have it your way wasn't a slogan, it was a promise that you could pile on toppings, skip the onions, or double the cheese. For decades, Burger King played the underdog, daring to go head-to-head with McDonald's. From fiery ad campaigns to experiments like the plant-based Impossible Whopper, they built a reputation for challenging the rules. Walking into Burger King meant choosing flame and fire over cookie-cutter sameness. The glow of that crown logo still sparks memories of childhood lunches, cardboard crowns perched proudly on small heads, and the taste of smoke lingering long after the last bite. Baldwin Park, California, 1948, Harry and Esther Snyder opened a tiny burger stand just off the highway. Instead of roller skating car hops, they installed something new, a two-way intercom. Customers could order from their car without stepping out, making this the very first true drive-thru in California. The menu was short: burgers, fries, and shakes. But what set In-N-Out apart was freshness. Burgers were never frozen, fries were cut from whole potatoes, and the milkshakes tasted like real ice cream. A simple menu, executed perfectly, created a loyalty that generations still swear by. What seemed ordinary, a small stand, became legendary because it valued quality over expansion. While competitors spread across the nation, In-N-Out stayed close to home, building a cult following on the West Coast. And for those in the know, there was always the secret menu, an extra wink to fans who felt like insiders. From Sanders' roadside chicken to McDonald's Golden Arches to Snyder's first drive-thru, these stories shaped how America eats. Which one feels most nostalgic to you? The Colonel's crispy chicken, McDonald's speedy fries, or In-N-Out's fresh made-to-order burgers? If you're enjoying this trip, hit like and subscribe for more. San Bernardino, California, 1940. The glow of neon signs and the hum of car hops on roller skates filled the night air. Richard and Maurice McDonald ran a bustling barbecue drive-in, but deep down they saw something bigger. In 1948, they shut their doors, stripped the menu to just burgers, fries, and shakes, and unveiled a radical idea, the speedy service system. Food was assembled like cars on a factory line, each step precise, each burger identical and ready in seconds. A hamburger cost just 15 cents, and suddenly dinner for a family didn't require waiting or spending much. Then came Ray Kroc, a milkshake machine salesman with relentless vision. By 1955, he opened his first McDonald's in Illinois, and soon those golden arches dotted the skyline across America. It wasn't just about food anymore, it was about a new way of living, fast, convenient, and consistent. The smell of salty fries, the cheerful jingle of "You deserve a break today," and the red and yellow glow became part of childhood memories worldwide. Your comments keep these memories alive. Drop yours below and share your first McDonald's story. Picture a dusty roadside in Corbin, Kentucky during the harsh years of the Great Depression. Travelers stopped at a modest Shell gas station, not just to refuel their cars, but to taste the cooking of a man named Harlan Sanders. In the cramped back room, the aroma of fried chicken, crisp golden and infused with a secret blend of herbs and spices, turned that station into a destination. Sanders wasn't satisfied with ordinary fried chicken. He experimented endlessly, tinkering with pressure cookers till he found a way to fry chicken faster while keeping it juicy and flavorful. Locals began calling him Colonel, a name he wore proudly with his white suit and black string tie. When a new highway threatened his little business, Sanders packed his recipe and hit the road, offering it to restaurants across America. By the 1960s, Kentucky Fried Chicken had become a household name, its red and white buckets a symbol of comfort and indulgence. It all started with one man's stubborn belief that fried chicken could be both quick and unforgettable, proof that even on a lonely Kentucky roadside, a dream could become a global legend. Wichita, Kansas, the year 1921, steam rising from a tiny kitchen, and the sizzle of square patties hitting a griddle. Billy Ingram and Walter Anderson dreamed of more than just burgers. They wanted to change America's idea of fast food. Out of that dream came White Castle, the birthplace of the slider. Each bite-sized burger with its soft bun and onion-packed patty punctured by 5 holes to cook faster became an instant hit for working families. But White Castle's genius wasn't only in flavor, it was in trust. At a time when ground beef was viewed with suspicion, their spotless porcelain and steel buildings gleamed on street corners with open kitchens where customers could watch every step. Workers in crisp white uniforms completed the message. This was food you could believe in. Sold for just a nickel, sliders weren't just cheap, they were a ticket to something new. Speed, consistency, and a promise that the American diner experience could be both affordable and safe. White Castle didn't just serve burgers. It served reassurance in every bag. After hearing about Nathan's famous A, W, and now White Castle, which one sparks the strongest memory for you? The salty hot dogs on Coney Island, the frosty root beer mugs, or those tiny square sliders? Now imagine the summer of 1919 in a small California town called Lodi. Crowds gathered for a parade celebrating World War I veterans, and at the center of it all stood Roy Allen's humble root beer stand. Frosty mugs clinked, the sweet aroma of herbs and spices rising from the foamy drink that seemed to cool the whole street. What made A.W. unforgettable wasn't just the root beer itself, it was the way it captured moments. Families piled into cars, kids pressed their faces against glass mugs, and every sip felt like a toast to better days. Just 3 years later, Allen joined forces with Frank Wright, and the name A.W. was born. By the 1970s, believe it or not, A.W. actually had more locations than McDonald. They pioneered drive-in service, taught America the art of car hops, and introduced the iconic Papa Burger line for families. To this day, the root beer recipe remains a guarded secret, unchanged, for over a century, still served in those frosty mugs that never fail to spark nostalgia. If you're enjoying this trip through America's food past, hit like and subscribe for more. Picture the salty breeze of Coney Island in 1916, the sound of waves crashing against the boardwalk, and a Polish immigrant named Nathan Handwerker setting up a tiny hot dog stand. The smell of sizzling frankfurters drifted through the seaside air, luring families, workers, and curious tourists. What made Nathan's stand different wasn't just the taste, it was the bold move of selling hot dogs for only 5 cents, half the price of his former boss Feltman's. Skeptics worried cheap meant low quality, but Nathan turned that doubt into a legend. His wife's secret spice mix gave every bite a snap of flavor, smoky and savory, wrapped in a warm bun. To win trust, Nathan staged clever tricks. Actors in fine clothes stood outside enjoying his hot dogs, and on the 4th of July, he launched a contest that became a tradition. By the 1950s, Nathan's Famous wasn't just a stand, it was the beating heart of American street food with its name etched into history. Even today, the thought of that first bite under the summer sun brings back memories of freedom, laughter, and the timeless taste of a simple hot dog done right. From the salty air of Coney Island to the golden glow of neon arches, these stories remind us that fast food was never just about a quick meal. It was about moments, families, and memories that shaped America's golden age. Which of these classics lives strongest in your heart today? Don't forget to subscribe for more nostalgia and retro memories. Your support keeps these histories alive.